Yo, what is up guys? It's me exactly back bringing some more daily NBA news and highlights. As always, you guys know that you are the real MVPs for coming back each and every single day. Can't thank you enough. And hey, if you're new here, then yes, you are also greatly appreciated. But make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell as well so you can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. But now, let's just get into everything that is going on in the NBA. But first, a quick word about this video sponsor, SportsQ Trivia. So of course, it's Wednesday, meaning there will be another game of SportsQ Trivia going down later tonight. And basically what it is the NBA Trivia app, where I ask you guys a series of 10 questions based on current events that are going on in the NBA. If you get all 10 questions right, then you just win yourself some cash. It's as simple as that. And also, you're definitely going to want to make sure you download the app because we're going to have a very special game going live very soon with some pretty ridiculous prizes. So links to download for both Android and iOS will be in the description box below, and you can use the referral code SDC to gain an extra life when you sign up. Anyways, huge startling news and rumors are starting to come out based around Kristaps Porzingis. So we all remember the very unfortunate injury that Kristaps Porzingis suffered earlier on into the regular season, right before the All-Star break, which would have been his first time making the NBA All-Star team. Unicorn was leading the Knicks to win after win, was averaging nearly 30 points per game earlier on into the season before all the injuries started to settle in, and of course he eventually tore his ACL. Now he's already undergone a successful ACL repair surgery, and initial reports claim that he could be back as soon as 10 months. Now the original injury I believe happened sometime in February, meaning that he could be back as early as December of next year. But that is apparently a best case scenario situation, because now we have reports coming out from people close to the Knicks and even the owner of the Knicks suggesting that Kristaps Porzingis could miss the entire 2018-2019 NBA season. Alright, so the first report we got yesterday was from New York Knicks legend Walt Frazier, as he straight up said that he doesn't think Porzingis is going to play at all next year. And yes, Frazier is no doctor for the Knicks or anything like that, so you might think his opinion on this situation doesn't really hold much weight to it. It's not much more valuable than just any regular person on the street's opinion on Kristaps Porzingis, but that's not entirely true. See, he is involved with the organization, he travels with the team, he does do things with the players, so he might know an inside scoop on Kristaps Porzingis, something that the rest of us don't know. But like I said, Frazier wasn't the only person to insinuate that Kristaps Porzingis could miss the entire 2018-2019 NBA season. The owner of the New York Knicks himself, James Dolan, has also hinted at the possibility that we will not see Porzingis next year. I've been told everything from December to him being out for the season, so I don't know what to expect on that. But we just can't sit on our butts while he's away. We need to develop a team and then integrate him into it when he comes back. I don't even think I need to explain how devastating this will be for New York and Porzingis on many levels if he does not play next year, but I will anyway. So for Porzingis, of course, this is going to be huge if he misses the entire season, because this will be his last season of his rookie contract. And if he doesn't play next year, it's gonna be a lot harder for him to convince the Knicks to give him a max level long-term contract coming off such an extreme injury like an ACL tear when he hasn't even played a single game since he recovered. So who knows what could happen with that situation, but more importantly, it dampers the New York Knicks' pipe dream of getting LeBron James this offseason. Now this thing was already a pipe dream to start with Enes Kanter coming out and daring LeBron James to join the New York Knicks to prove that he is the king of New York, and then of course the New York Knicks hiring one of LeBron James' favorite coaches in Dave Fizdale. They're angling at trying to lure LeBron James in, but if their star player, one of the main reasons LeBron would even want to consider thinking about joining the New York Knicks, is rumored to be out for the entire season, why on earth would he sign there now? Moving on to the next story though, Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans were of course eliminated from the NBA playoffs by the Golden State Warriors in 5 games. And even though you could technically say that this series wasn't close, I mean it was just about as close as any team has gotten to beating the Warriors since they had the addition of KD. You could argue that they played the Warriors just as well as LeBron and the Cavs did last year in the NBA Finals. Anyways though, congrats to AD and the Pelicans, really proving the NBA world wrong and showing that this team actually has some potential in the future. But we're not going to be talking about that game right there for too much longer. Instead, Instead, what we have to cover is the growing amount of people that are comparing Anthony Davis to the legend, the greatest power forward of all time, Tim Duncan. And it started with Anthony Davis's coach, Alvin Gentry, as he said this: "I think anytime you have a superstar player like AD, I think he's got like the Tim Duncan DNA. He's just a low maintenance guy, loves being around the guys, like being a part of the team, and just wants to be one of the guys that's a part of the team. And I think anytime you have that, you're probably going to have a closeness on your team." So he says AD is a superstar level player, but just wants to be one of the guys. He cares about the closeness of the team more than anything, their chemistry, all that great stuff, similar to how Tim Duncan was with the San Antonio Spurs. However, Gentry wasn't the only person to make remarks like this. Head coach of the Warriors, Steve Kerr, also said similar things, that he sees similarities between Anthony Davis and Tim Duncan. I know what Timmy would say. Tim would say that he jumps way higher than I ever did. Anthony Davis is much more athletic than Tim was, but I see similarities in their demeanor. Timmy is one of the all-time greats, a top 10 player all time, no matter how you slice it. Anthony is just kind of entering his prime now, so you know he has a ways to go before he reaches Tim's stratosphere. I understand what Alvin is talking about. He's a tremendous talent. I don't know him very well, but he's one of those guys that jumps out of you that he just got it. But it doesn't stop there, as Anthony Davis himself says there are similarities between himself and Tim Duncan, and that he idolizes the way Tim Duncan carried himself on and off the court and tries to emulate that himself. I definitely looked up to Duncan. He's always calm and collective. He never gets rattled. He gets to the spot where he wants to get to in the post. That's how I try to play. I watched a lot of film on him, the way he did stuff. Even when we played against him, he would always tell me stuff, calm down a little bit, all this stuff. So I didn't know coach said that, but I always looked up to Tim Duncan, and I always wanted to be just like that. Now, I heard AD say that he looked up to Duncan before in terms of loyalty, that he wants to be one of those guys that spends his entire career with just one organization like Tim Duncan did with the Spurs, but I never knew before that he was also kind of trying to emulate some of Duncan's other characteristics and how he carried himself on the court. But I mean, it's not like that's a bad thing to do. If you want to be the best, a good way to be the best is to learn from the best. That's what Kobe did with MJ, and now he's considered to be the second best shooting guard of all time. So Anthony Davis trying to learn from Tim Duncan, the best power forward of all time, is a great start for him to build his legacy. Well, this is awkward. This is exactly why I think they should give out all of the awards, since they are regular season awards, before the playoffs actually start, to avoid things like this happening. As the coach of the year was just announced yesterday, and the NBA Coaches Association decided to reward Dwayne Casey with the Coach of the Year award, right after he and his Raptors were just swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round. I mean, this is just super awkward, and I'm sure Dwayne Casey would have felt a lot better about getting this award had it happened before the playoffs started and he knew that he gotten swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers, because now it seems more like a pity award. Like, you've been bullied by LeBron for the third straight year, you got the best record and yet got swept. You know what, just give him the award, just let him have it. It seems like a freaking pity award. But what I found really interesting about this, what I find to be extremely outrageous about this, is the fact that the coach that a lot of people had winning Coach of the Year, or at least could make extremely solid arguments for winning Coach of the Year, didn't even get a single vote to win Coach of the Year, and I am talking about Brad Stevens. He did not get a single vote to win Coach of the Year. Casey is also regarded as a top contender for the NBA's Coach of the Year award, and according to the people with knowledge of the voting for the NBA Coach of the Year award, was one of just 8 coaches to receive votes in the balloting. The other 7 coaches to receive votes for the peers were Philadelphia's Brett Brown, Houston's Mike D'Antoni, Indiana's Nate McMillan, San Antonio Spurs' Greg Popovich, Utah's Quinn Snyder, Portland's Terry Stotts, and the Los Angeles Clippers' Doc Rivers. How on earth did Doc Rivers get a vote but Brad Stevens didn't? I don't have any problem with any of those other coaches getting voting. All the other coaches, even Doc Rivers isn't a terrible coach. He did the best he could for what he had this year. I don't have a problem with any of those other coaches. All those other coaches did great things this year, but where on earth is Brad Stevens? I'm not mad that he didn't win the award, but the fact that he didn't even get recognized is ridiculous. He still led the Celtics to the second best record in the Eastern Conference, despite not having Gordon Hayward all season long, despite Kyrie Irving being in the lineup for the majority of the season and then eventually being shut down, despite Al Horford missing games, despite Marcus Smart missing games. Despite all of this, he still led the Celtics to the second best record in the Eastern Conference, and it looks like, even though this is a regular season award, he's about to take them to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, to me, Brad Stevens not even getting recognized is kind of like if LeBron James doesn't even get a vote for MVP this year. Sure, we all know James Harden is going to win it this year, just like most of us knew Dwayne Casey was going to win Coach of the Year this year. But like we all know that LeBron James is still technically the MVP of the NBA since he's the best player in the league, and you know, the Cleveland Cavaliers wouldn't even come close to making the playoffs had it not been for LeBron James. That's the level of coaching that Brad Stevens was on this year. So for him not to even get a vote, it's madness. Anyways, the last story of the day is the Houston Rockets eliminating the Utah Jazz to advance the Western Conference Finals, where they would take on the Golden State Warriors. And Chris Paul in this game was not going to allow any chance of it going past 5 games. He had never even sniffed the conference finals in his career before and was not going to entertain the idea of blowing another 3-1 lead, as he had, in my mind, the best playoff game of his career yesterday. 41 points on crazy efficient shooting, 10 assists, and no turnovers. He is the first player in NBA history to ever post a stat line like that in the playoffs with 40 plus points, 10 assists, and no turnovers. Incredible game by CP3. And I'm beyond excited for this Houston State versus Golden State Warriors series that is set to start Monday. But can we all just take a second and appreciate the Utah Jazz here? This is a team that wasn't even supposed to be in the playoffs this year after losing Gordon Hayward over the offseason. And to make the second round of the playoffs and even take a game away from the Rockets and not back down from them the entire series, this is a special team, and I'm looking forward to seeing how much better they come back next season. But that's gonna do it for the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, keep getting the Bucks team as you see, and I'm out of here. Peace!